Well, my name is Tara. I'm with MZ Electric in Littleton, Colorado. I am an owner and vice president and team mom and a whole bunch of other things, HR and all that fun stuff. I provide breakfast often, lots of roles.
That's a lot of jobs. Well, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit. How long have you owned the company?
So we started, my husband Keith started MZ in 2009, Chuck in a truck, and then needed help a few years later. So I came on, I was a teacher and I came on over one summer. And then we realized he needed help, but couldn't really afford it yet. And then um, my kids were little and I wanted to spend some time with them. So it just made sense for me to come help. And it started out really not much to do. And, everything we did was pretty fly by the seat of our pants. And then come 2011 or so, we hired on a couple guys who are still with us today. And I just flew from there. So lots of different stages. But yeah, we're real big, active in our community. With the high school, we like to train our own because we can't always find those great guys we found in 2011. So we're big on that. And that's kind of where you guys come in.
Well, since you touched on that, what was it like? Because it sounds like there might have been a gap between enough people that are trained and then what you really needed. What was the environment like for you and recruiting for MC Electric before Hunter Recruitment Advisors came in?
Well, we started with like Craigslist, um, and the local workforce. We were able to put postings up there, and we got Craigslist quality. Nothing against Craigslist. There's all kinds of great purposes for Craigslist, but um, you know, the people we got were anybody, people from young people who were never taught how to use a screwdriver to people who were scared to death to even look at a ladder, to people who had 20 years experience and wanted to come run us. So we ran the whole gamut of people coming in. We had no idea, like people who were getting high at work or any kinds of all the things that you hear about. We've been through them in all ages, of course.
What was the environment like to actually have time to recruit? Were you doing that yourself?
Yes, well, we were doing everything ourselves. So it was hard, like Keith would have to say, leave a job early, or, of course, no work life balance. So Keith would have to go from a job to meet someone at the time when we were working out of the shed next to our house or storage units or whatever stage we were at in the last several years. We would he would leave a job at 5 o'clock, meet up with someone maybe at Starbucks or maybe at the storage unit or something like that at 7, 6, 7 o'clock, come home at 8, 9 o'clock, and still not, that initial hour when you meet someone, of course, they're at their best, right? Because they want a job. So uh, it was tricky. It was really tricky. And then I would meet the person and be like, I don't want that person in my house. Like, how can we hire that person? But it was like too late. And we really didn't know. And we didn't know any like laws or anything really, right? Like Keith was a really, really great electrician, learning how to build a business and run a business. And I was, like I said, a teacher. So I could read character, but I couldn't do any of the other things. So it's just a big learning curve.
So there's a lot of recruiting firms you could have talked to or you could have used. Why did you end up working with Hunter Recruitment Advisors?
Well, so we got phone calls quite a bit eventually about, from recruiters. And um, I guess at the time we definitely couldn't afford any help. We kind of had to figure that out on our own. Um, but the people would call and be salesy, and so that's always a big turnoff for me in anything you do. And that's something I never got from you guys at all, ever. It was never about um, like I really felt like, first of all, I don't remember if Jessica was the first person I talked to. I don't remember the very first person I talked to, but um, I know with Jessica, she's like, well, what kind of person are you looking for? What are the qualities in a person? And we talked, like, she really taught me a lot about how we should really be hiring on personality first, because Keith is such a great electrician and such a great teacher, and we've got all these great resources available for training and the like software and all that stuff. We can teach all kinds of things, but we can't teach character, and that's something that um, one of the first conversations I think I had, and I'm pretty sure it was with Jessica, was in fact um, helping me realize that that was the case. And never, ever, ever did I feel that she was pushing me to do something I didn't need or couldn't afford, or like she definitely proved her value before probably we even talked money.
That's fabulous. I mean, was that kind of the biggest surprise or about working with Hunter Recruitment Advisors versus other companies?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you hear all these annoying pushy sales pitches. Yeah. I mean, it's nice. Like, she's like my friend, like that's, it's just different. Like, I can call her. She knows, when I call her and talk about, um, I won't use names, but when I call her and talk about this guy or that guy or that guy, like, she knows all about them. She remembers the first time she talked to him. And so that's one of the cool parts, getting back to like the whole like time saving thing, right? Like, we had to come up with these extra hours in the day to talk to these people, to vet these people. But knowing, like, Jessica knows exactly who I want in my office, around my family. Like, we're still a family business. My kids work here. Like, if I can't have you sitting in a vehicle with my child, then I shouldn't be sending you into someone else's home with their children. So she knows by talking to these people, she gets this really great sense of character, and that saves me hours and is priceless.
Are there any measurable results or milestones that Jessica, as the recruitment manager and Hunter Recruitment overall, helped provide for you at MZ Electric?
Well, do you mean in terms of like how many people?
Yes, ma'am. Or what the impact has been to sales?
Well, so it's a funny time right now, and we came on with you guys shortly after COVID. So I feel like the world is changing so quickly that I don't know if I can always make the right comparisons. But we've, Jessica has helped bring on at least 5 or 6 great people. But overall, yes, I think it's safe to say business is better because of the people coming in, and you guys definitely helped bring in the right people to help that happen.
If you don't mind describing a little bit about, when you make a call and you say, hey, we need your help, we tend to jump right on it and we work just the amount of time it takes to do the project and nothing more. I mean, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about that and your experience with that, that would be really great.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's something that has been a huge help for many reasons. So at first, maybe we didn't have um, the candidates that coming in right away, right? It did take a little time uh, to build the relationship and the knowledge, um, and we were maybe at times overwhelmed by the cost. And Jessica was able to work with us and say, okay, we need to spend this amount of time to find this. She was able to break it down, I guess, in good terms, so that once we could understand it and then make educated decisions on that to make it work for us. So, uh, yeah, I mean, if we lose someone today and I have a full schedule for next week, absolutely, I know that I can call Jessica, or actually even text her and say, hey, I just lost so and so. Even if, as a matter of fact, to be honest, even if you guys didn't recruit this so and so, she still knows about him, right? And I can say, we lost this guy. I need a replacement as soon as possible. And she'll talk to probably 3 people. She'll amp up the time spent. So like, she's got the ability to work me into her schedule for next week so that she can get those hours in to get the right person, take the time that I can't take.
How would you describe the value to somebody who's looking at this video for the first time, business owner just like yourself, who is trying to decide, do we work with Hunter Recruitment Advisors? What would you tell them?
Big picture, I think they have nothing to lose. We were sitting in a spot where, gosh, I felt like every single person I talked to, I, I, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't, I was doing something wrong. I couldn't find a fit. I couldn't fit the square peg in the round hole. And I didn't have the time to reinvent the wheel and figure it all out. Uh, it's no risk, right? Like, worst case scenario, you spend some time getting to know someone else, so the recruiter, and then they learn a little about yourself. But I think even in that process, it helped me learn so much about myself that I feel like the only loss might be a short amount of time, which you would have spent not being educated in that way. Like, I learned so much about employment in general from you guys that I think um, that's worth it. Like, do the consultation, give it a shot, see if it's a good fit. But I mean, it's worked for us, and I'm really happy with it. And I mean, I just can't recommend you guys enough.
Well, you have been fabulous. Are there any final thoughts that you feel like, hey, I should probably mention this, or you didn't ask me about this, but you should have?
Just that I think it's really important that people take the time to nurture that relationship, because you know we tell people all the time we don't know about a problem that's not there. Well, um, that I love the fact that, like, I knew the value in the person I was talking to, and that's what was most important to me. I think that um, it's really important that people, anybody looking for this type of service, take that time, get to know the person. Another thing I think that actually, I feel like if I didn't find a good match in Jessica, I feel like she would have found somebody else who maybe I would jive with better. Like, she's not the only person there, obviously, right? But like, there's not only one recruiter there. So if you feel that person isn't the right fit, I feel like you guys are so accommodating and so helpful, and you're not successful if we're not successful, right? So we're a team. And I feel like you'll find the best fit for me if needed. I have the best fit and I don't want to lose that best fit, right? But maybe that's not the best fit for everybody, and I feel like you guys would definitely work with that.
100%. You have been amazing. I'm so grateful to you for talking with us. It's always a blessing to get to talk to somebody that we've partnered with, and I mean, when a customer gives you a good review, it just gives you all the tingles. And so I just want to thank you so much for talking with me today.
Yeah, well, thank you, and let's keep keeping on the good work.
Amen. Have a Merry Christmas to you and your family.
You too, thank you so much.